Hello, I'm Kate Usay, and welcome to my channel. I am so pleased to be here with the amazing social worker and entrepreneur, Anika Smith, today. Can you just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and about the program that you're developing?
Yes, my name is Anika Smith. Like Kate said, I am currently in private practice developing a group practice. My practice is Phoenix Soaring Counseling, and we focus on specifically working with people that have had trouble with addiction, and we're social work developers. That's what the focus is.
Tell me more about social work developers.
Well, so one of the passions that I have is developing the next generation of social workers. And in my own journey as having supervision, the reason why I came to you, Ms. Kate, was because I had some gaps in supervision. So I want to make sure that the social workers of the future have the support and the education and, well, more support, the support that they need to become successful social workers and well-rounded social workers.
Yeah, holistic.
Holistic,
I see you
absolutely.
as a holistic practitioner for sure.
Mhm.
So you alluded to a little bit about having some gaps in your supervision. What was going on for you when you first called me, when we first started our relationship?
Well, I realized that I had a supervisor that had struggled with boundaries, which in turn made me question some of the things that I was learning about boundaries. And I came to you, well, you know, I came to you, but it was good to have somebody that was supportive and that I could answer questions and filled in the gaps.
Good to hear. I know for a while you were in some of our groups. What did you learn from those supervision groups? What was helpful to you there?
I think the most helpful thing was that you're not alone in this, right? I think like as social workers, sometimes it feels like we're an island unto our own, right? And if you don't have that support, it can end up being very lonely and very isolating, right? Which I guess lonely and isolating are the same thing. However, when you're going through things in your practice or you're having questions about like, is this the right thing or should I do this? Or you're thinking that you have an answer that may not be completely accurate, it's awesome to have other people that you can like bounce those ideas off of.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things we forget as social workers is we think we're just going along in our basic day to day. But the truth is, we are hearing stories all day long of trauma, trauma, trauma. And in order for us to be present and avoid burnout, I am hearing you. A group can really help that. So
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you why you signed up for Intentional Career by Design, but I really think you were the one that kind of pushed it for me to do it.
I'm so grateful that you did, actually. Yes. So I have always had this vision of wanting a group practice, right? But where do you start? How do you begin? How do you like market? How do you get a brand? How do you get a niche? Right? All those questions that are very sometimes can be vague when you're trying to find how to do it online. So coming to you and you developing this program and having other career minded women that have similar visions and goals, it's awesome.
What challenges have you worked through so far in the
Fear.
Intentional Career by Design?
Yeah, fear. That's like the big one, you know, afraid of what if I succeed? What if I fail? Right? Like you would think that like, oh yeah, I'm going to succeed, but there can be a fear with that as well,
Yes.
right? Just as much
Oh,
as
yeah.
there is with failure. It's also, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about as far as like the supervision. It's knowing that you're not alone and you have other women, again, career-minded women that have similar visions and similar goals and like a tribe of women that are like moving forward and creating things. And, you know, sometimes we think as social workers that we're in this little box and we can only do certain things, but there's a whole world of stuff that we get to do as social workers.
Absolutely. That mindset helps
Yeah.
overcome that fear. And you've talked about a few things, but can you think of anything else that really helps you most in the program?
Think it's the connections,
The
you know,
connection.
yeah, it is
What about the
absolutely.
modules? Have you been able to get a chance to get into any of the modules yet?
Absolutely. So I like the modules about getting centered and being like getting your vision, staying on track. That one, knowing that there's all kinds of branches that you can go,
Yeah.
right? Having the modules going like, hey, this is what you do, and handling the challenges that you have, like the questions that you struggle. Like I don't get access to you every day, Kate, right? I can't be like, hey, Kate, struggling with this, but knowing that I can go to the module and hit play and go, oh yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm. And remember, it's not the same, but you can go into the private Facebook group because I check that and I'm on that and can answer any questions that are there also. And we are going to the, 2 time a week calls. So that'll be a lot more access, I think, for people. And so as you're talking about this, what is it like for you now? Personally, professionally, financially, relationship wise, where do you see yourself now?
Yeah, so personally, as far as business wise, I do feel a lot more confident, right? And
Right.
like to your point, you are available, but I also know that you have a life outside of this, right? And so I want to respect that. So financially, I can see it coming, right? I'm putting those clogs into place that are starting to spin. I can see the train going choo choo choo, like going up the hill, right? And that was something in the beginning of this. I was at the bottom, right? And then you and I have talked about this, like that anxiety of, do I belong? Am I good enough? Can I do this? That's kind of what this has done, is being able to go like, yeah, I absolutely can do this,
Yeah.
without a doubt. That belief.
I'm so glad that you stepped into your greatness. I was waiting. You're doing a great, great job. It's just such a pleasure to be your colleague. I must say that. So, lastly, what advice do you have for social workers who feel stuck and they're hesitating to make the next step to invest in their career and
Do
design their career?
Yeah, do it. Like that really, and I know that kind of sounds cliche as well, like just do it.
Oh,
But the reality of it is you're only going to get as far as you're willing to invest in yourself. And sometimes, right, when you're growing and developing, that really is that putting that money into you,
mhm.
right? Like you're going to only develop your team as much as you're going to develop yourself. And this is a great opportunity to develop yourself.
Well said. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy practice to come and do this for me. But I will see you on our next coaching call.
Absolutely.
Pleasure, Anika.